Hello everyone, how are you today? How's everything? How was your weekend? How was the storm?
Teacher, excellent.
Okay, I'm so glad to hear that, Carlos. Well, we had a very strong storm, right? It was raining cats and dogs in the previous block. Now it's better. I'm not sure about where you are, but I hope you are safe as well. And let me tell you what's our plan for today. What's our agenda? Can you hear me well? Sorry, I didn't ask you about it.
Yes, teacher.
Thank you, Mabel. Okay, thank you, Carlos. Well, my dear friends, wait a sec. Okay, this is our plan. Today is our class 3 of this level B2.5. And as I told you last week, we're going to start knowing the format of the exam. That's what we're going to do. Yes. Today I'm going to give you an overview about the test, and today we will also work on some tips for listening, and you guys will develop one activity from Moodle again, so I hope you have the connection. Yes, and you have access to it. Brian, do you already have access to Moodle? Because last week you were not registered.
Uh, yes, teacher, I have access to Moodle and I made the last activity.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, because I asked the engineer to do it last week because I noticed that you were not in our groups, and that was very important for us. Okay, my dear friends, let me give you our plan. Okay, our warm-up today will be like very simple, very easy to connect to what you guys were doing before, that was talking about millennials, right? So we're going to work on a word search in which we will find some vocabulary, yeah, like common expressions and phrases millennials use. Very colloquial vocabulary, guys, not like the real way we speak. Okay. Then after that, we will have an overview, yes, to our test, this cycle. Remember that I told you that the exam is long. You guys will have two classes for taking it. So it's very good for us to get familiar to those kind of exercises, and that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to give you an overview, but we are going to focus on listening. Yeah. Then we will discuss some tips for improving listening. Yes, listening skills. We will have a discussion. We will work on Moodle at the end of this lesson. You guys will work on a listening exercise. Okay, that's the plan. Questions, comments before we start. What do you want to say? Okay. Natalia, could you finally watch the video? I think I fixed it, but to be honest, I was away on the weekend, so I could not answer yesterday. And today I thought it was very late, so I just fixed it. Could you? Was it any problem with it? Do I need to change it?
No, teacher, I don't try again.
Oh, I'm
Sorry.
sorry. No, excuse me, because to be honest, I was like, okay, Saturday I work all day long, but later I was off. Yeah, and this morning I was like, okay, back to those things, and I say like, ooh, it was kind of late to answer her, but I check it, and for me it works. So maybe I will
Okay,
have,
let me check.
so maybe
Okay,
I will have to change the link, maybe to upload it again or do something if it doesn't work. Yeah.
maybe. Yeah, teacher, thank
Okay, I will do it. Don't worry. Tonight after we finish the class. Okay, guys. So this is basically our lesson. Today you guys will know the exam form, and that's it. Questions, comments, Anything you want to say? No? Okay. So let me check out the attendance, and after checking the attendance, we are ready. Okay. Gerson.
Teacher present.
Okay, Gerson. Jean-Claude.
Hello, teacher, present.
Very good. Jessit.
Present, teacher.
Great. Natalia.
Present, teacher.
Awesome. Brian. Okay, I think I have a message from him in the chat. Let's check. Andres.
Hi, teacher, present.
Awesome. Very good. Silvia.
Hi, teacher present.
Okay. Elkin.
Hi, teacher, present.
Okay, Elkin. Thank you. Julian.
Hello, teacher, present.
Great. Jeanette.
Hi, teacher present.
Very good. Carlos.
Present, teacher.
Awesome. Mabeli.
Present, teacher.
Great. Jose.
I'm here, teacher.
Awesome. Judy. I'm afraid she's not in our meeting. Judy, hello? She's not. No? Okay. Okay, Judy's not, and Lisette won't attend the meeting. She has like very bad conditions. I mean, like weather conditions now. She already told me. Okay, my dear friends, let's go. Let's start. Just if you don't listen to me well, just tell me, okay? So I can see if there is any problem with the connection or so, yeah, because of the storm. But I could have the first class very well, so I don't think that there will be any problem. I hope so. Okay, so let's go. How was the discussion about millennials? Did you guys found, I mean, like, did you find yourself labeled that way? Yeah, like, you really think that we are like that because you guys are in that generation? Or you say like, no, that video really accused us in the wrong way? Well,
I
okay.
think it's not true at all. Yes.
Yes, it's partly true, teacher.
Yes, partly true. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, partly true. Like, well, we accept that some things are the way we work or behave. But as I told my other students, we are individuals, we are unique. It doesn't mean that, yeah, it does not mean that we are just exactly the same as the stereotypes say. But maybe some way, somehow, we follow some of those things and we have some of those characteristics. And I say we because I'm part of that generation, you know, according to the range of years and dates. Yes, but I am so old fashioned with the way we interact with others. I don't like that, you know, like the way new generations do, that is just like technology. Like, okay, as I send a message, or you know, if I have to say something important to other person, just using WhatsApp. No, I am so old fashioned for that. I prefer, you know, like looking at the person, at their eyes and face to face, you know, or if I can't, a call. But I know people who hate or avoid answering calls. Yeah, it's like, why are you calling me if I just can, I don't know, test you? I'm so old fashioned that way. Okay, guys, so to continue talking about it, but just a little bit, because that's not the real aim of our lesson. Oops, sorry. Let's work on this. This is, let me close it. Okay, wait. A word search that has some terms that are very characteristics and common from millennial vocabulary. You have to do two things. First, find those words in the word search, of course. Second, try to understand what they mean. If you know, or maybe if you have heard some of them, and tell me their meaning, okay? You just have to click on begin here. Click on begin. On your right, you have the words you are requested to look for. It's very easy. For example, you click on the first letter you want to select and drag your mouse. Look, click and drag it. If it's not a word, it just makes a sound and that's it. But if it is a word, look, it will select it itself, okay? So these are the words you need to look for and try to understand that vocabulary and tell me if you know them. Okay, tell me when you're done. Let's go. Are you guys done? How's it going? Okay, just it is done. What about the rest of you?
Not yet, teacher.
Okay, I can give you 1 more minute. Okay, guys, tell me, did you know any of those words you had to find in the word search? Maybe some of them.
Teacher, I know FOMO,
Mhm.
stand, thrill, extra, and ghost.
Wow, you know lots of them. Yeah, almost half of them. So you are a real millennial, Silvia.
I'm Gen Z. I belong to Gen Z, actually.
Okay, cool. Well, here I have some ideas and also examples of those words you guys had to look for. Yeah, let's see what they mean. Yes, and what those letters stand for. Yeah, okay. FOMO, fear of missing out. For example, I won't be able to make it to the concert. It's giving me major FOMO. Some people think that if they do not attend an event they are invited to, yeah, it could be a very boring thing. It doesn't matter if it's boring or cool. They just feel bad because they think that they will miss, you know, a lot of that. Like, for example, later when their friends start talking about it, the person will feel bad because he or she didn't attend, which for me is a total ridiculous thing. Sometimes you just don't want to socialize. Sometimes you just need to be on your own. Yeah. Sometimes you just need to rest. And it's totally okay if you don't want to attend. But people say that they feel, like FOMO. They have that fear of missing out. Okay. We also have these letters. Sorry, give me a second, please. Okay. TMW, yes, stand for that moment when. you are not, I mean, it's not likely to say it, you know, in a spoken way because it sounds like weird, but more like in a written way. Yeah. So you use it, yes, to say that moment when. Do you remember that moment when he walked in? Yes. And as I told you, it's a written way. It's very colloquial, very informal, and it sounds very weird if you say those letters in a spoken conversation because you are not going to say TMW. Yeah. For example, let me give you another example. This is very common, and this is not millennial because I remember I heard it and learned it long time ago. It's BTW. What's the meaning of that? Or what do those letters stand for? What's that? Then you know.
By the way.
By the way. Yeah. As well as ASAP. I think I already told you this one, which is as soon as possible. But you can say ASAP because those phonemes can be pronounced because there are consonants and vowels, right? But the other ones that only have letters are so hard to pronounce. So it's better to use them in a written way. Yeah, but ASAP is something you can say, so that's okay. Okay, let's continue with this millennial vocabulary. Turned, getting overly excited. These songs got me so turned. Yeah, you are very excited. Walk, to be aware. Life is tricky. Stay walk, girls. I think this one makes sense if you relate it to wake up, something like that, right? It will be okay. Yeah, wake up, be aware. Yes, be attentive. TDF or TD, to die for. That cheesecake is to die for. Like it's very delicious. Time, talker and fun. It's just time. Yes. So, well, people these days use those words, yeah, that vocabulary. Fun, a combination between a stalker and fun, like a person who is always paying attention to someone else's life. A follower as well. A stalker is a person who doesn't, like really live their own life, more like being attentive about what the other one does. Yeah. Okay, ghost. This is actually, well, this one refers to the word ghost because ghosts disappear without warning you, without giving a sign. Yeah, and that's exactly what the word means. It refers to someone who disappears or leaves you hanging. Yeah, you can use it as a noun and as a verb. Yeah, so you can say that the person is ghosting you. Yeah, when the person suddenly stops talking to you without telling you or without giving you any reason, which is very bad and it's not healthy at all. So I recommend you not to ghost any person, just face the situation. It's just okay. Talk to the person, say, I don't want to interact anymore with you, and that's it. But that feeling is very bad. Yeah. I mean, what the other person could feel, yeah, if you ghost that person. Okay, shook, to be in utter disbelief or shaking but something. Remember this word that we have already analyzed in our classes. Utter means complete, yeah. So to be completely, yeah, something. So it's an example here. This new trend has me shook. Goat, but not as the animal, but more like greatest of all time. This one, that's why it is in capital letters, because these letters stand for greatest of all time, not referring to the animal, okay? I don't care what you say. Brian Adams is GOAT, is the greatest of all time. Yeah? Fun, very common, very warm, very familiar, very close to you when you consider a person as family. Yeah, it can be used for singular or plural. Yes, mom, I got your back. Thrill, a combination between true and real. I swear what I just told you is real, is real, is true. And extra here is different because, okay, we know that the word extra means more, yeah, a lot. That's the real meaning of the word extra. But in this context, it has a negative connotation, yeah, because it means very dramatic, which is not very good. And that is something like can be irritating for other people, so they can have it as a negative thing, like, oh, stop being so extra all the time. Yeah, stop being so dramatic. Okay? Questions about the vocabulary, my dear friends? What are the questions? No questions? Okay. Maybe you guys have lots of questions about the exam. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to check it. We are going to check the overview of the exam, and later you guys will answer some questions related to what we just checked. Yeah, related to the methodology of the exam. Very simple questions. Okay, let me tell you something. It does not mean that we are going to work on all the parts of the exam today. Of course, we won't finish long. But what we're going to do, what I'm going to do is to show you the parts, yeah, the time we have to use and, like an overview. And we are going to start with listening today. Tomorrow you guys will focus on reading, and maybe later we will focus on speaking and the other way, use of English. That way we will give you the chance to know each part of it, but not today. Today, just listening, okay? Let's go. Let me give you an overview of the test. The test is the FCE. These three letters stand for First Certificate in English. And this one evaluates the B2 level. Okay. Let's see. Let me show you. I'm going to show you a form. Yes, let's work on this one. Okay, here. Exam overview. Sorry, guys, can you hear me well? Is it okay? You're so quiet.
Yes, teacher, perfect.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Sometimes I feel like, well, I'm talking to myself, but no, I know you guys are very attentive. Let me just, okay, perfect. So this is the exam. The Cambridge First Certificate in English has 4 papers. That's why we need to divide, yeah, the exam. So each testing a different area of ability in English. Yeah, each one focuses on something different. The reading and use of English paper carries 40% of the score, while writing, listening, and speaking each carry 20% of the score. Yeah, we have 5 grades. A, B, and C are the pass ones. D and E are the fail ones. Yeah. For the reading and use of English, we have 1 hour and 15 minutes. For the writing, we have 1 hour and 20 minutes. For the listening, 40 minutes, yeah, average. And for the speaking, well, I'm not going to talk about speaking now because Laura and I still need to decide what we're going to do. We are talking and we have been discussing, yeah, because basically the way we evaluate speaking in B2.5 is usually a debate. That's the way we do, yeah? But we have not made the final decision. So when we know, we will tell you. We will tell you when we have like the lesson of speaking, don't worry. Now let's focus on the other parts. Okay, so we have these parts. Each hill has different parts, right? So let's have an overview about reading and use of English. In the reading and use of English part, you will find different kinds of questions. And you guys, of course, will practice those different kinds of questions with us in class. Part 1 is multiple choice clause. Choosing which word from a choice of 4 fits in each of 8 gaps in the text. Yeah? So let me show you a little bit about what is that. Here. Okay. In part 1, you read a short text and complete a multiple choice clause task. 8 words or 8 phrases have been removed from the text. For each gap, you have to choose from 4 options the word or phrase which fits best. This one is a little bit easier because you guys have the options. That is why it is called multiple choice clause. Yeah, because you have the options. Let me show you a little bit about one exercise related to it. My goodness, this is so, okay, this one. So you guys have, this is the text, these are the blanks, and these are the options. Students feel more confident with this kind of exercises because they can rely on the answers. Yeah, it gives you the idea and the sense that you have the answer there, which is good. What's going on in the chat? Okay, Andres. Thank you for telling me. Okay, so this is the first part. A text related to anything and the options here. And you guys have to select from those options to complete the text. Okay? Remember that the options can be different. For example, they can be a word in which you have to fit the best tense of the verb, for example. It can also be nouns that have similar meaning, and you have to decide which one is the best for that part. What else can we see? Adjectives as well. Yeah. Different meanings of the adjectives using the adjective that best fits that one. Okay. So when you are working on that part, you will focus a little bit more. Now, what's about the second part of the reading? Okay. So we have the part 2, and for this one, you have a text, yes, and you have to think of the word which best fits each gap. But if you notice here, you don't have any options. Yeah, so this one is an open-close exercise. You don't have the multiple choices there. Yeah. So here we have, for example, okay, use only one word in each gap. So you have to read the text very carefully and think about the word categories. That is my recommendation. Which are the word categories? Okay, you say, oh, parts of speech. We have adverbs, we have verbs, prepositions, interjections, conjunctions, articles. Yeah, so that way, as soon as you identify which is the word that is missing, then it's easier for you to complete it. But if you don't identify the categories, it's a little bit harder. Because for example, let's think that, okay, here we are missing a verb. Perfect, you know. Then, as soon as you identify that you are missing a verb, then you can see what's the conjugation of that verb. Yeah? Okay, that's the second part of the reading. Part 3 out of 5. Part 3 of the reading is for word formation. We are going to have word formation and word transformation. Okay? Do you remember when we studied, for example, how to create adjectives for nouns? or nouns from verbs. For example, you say, okay, we have the verb act, and we can create a noun, actor, actress. Yeah, that's basically this exercise about. Okay. Use the word given in capitals at the end of some of the lines to form a word that fits in the gap in the same line. There is an example. So, okay, this is the example. According to experts, doing puzzles keeps our brains fit and here you have health, which is a noun. But here they are giving a characteristic to our brain. How can we qualify nouns? With adjectives. Okay, so you create or form an adjective from this root. Health, healthy. According to experts, doing puzzles keeps our brains fit and healthy. Yeah? Sorry. As well as gaining blah, blah, blah from finding the correct answer. So you guys have satisfied and you have to create the word here, okay, to complete that. So you need to remember the suffixes and prefixes to create the word. That is the best recommendation. What else can we have here with the tips? Okay, suffixes or prefixes. In this case, create a noun. Add a prefix to make a word that means find out. The word you need means the people who do something. No, this is basically about this. Okay, so this one, word formation. Number 4. For questions, okay, 25 to 30, complete the second sentence so that it has a similar meaning to the first sentence. This one is perhaps one of the exercises we struggle, yeah, a lot, because that is transformation. But you cannot change the word given, right? So we have this. You must use between 2 and 5 words, including the word given. For example, what type of music do you like best? And you have the word favorite. So you have to create a question, including the word favorite without any kind of word formation, yeah? But expressing the same information. Okay, so you have what and type of music. What is your favorite type of music? Yes, that is the part 4. And now the part 5. Well, here we have this one. And part 5, you're going to read an article about a woman's career. For questions 31 to 36, to choose the correct option. Yes, A, B, C, or D. So let me see what are A, B, C, or D options. Reading comprehension. In the first paragraph, the writer suggests that, okay, so in this kind of exercises, you have to, how can I say, not infer, but more like do when you interpret information, like what is the author intention, yes, what does, for example, this phrase want to say, or in line 10, what that word refers to. Yes, that's like this kind of reading comprehension exercise. For example, let's have a look at the sentence, at the question. What do we learn about Chloe in the second paragraph? Yeah, like getting general ideas, specific ideas. What does Chloe say about her trip to Japan? In the fourth paragraph, we find out that Chloe ended up in hospital in Sweden after. What does she say about her vintage purse? Yes, so that is the the 5 parts, or the 5th part about reading. Basically, to analyze a text and answer the questions related to the author intentions, the author's intentions, and what they stand in each paragraph. So this one is okay. There is one that in which you have to complete with the missing part, and maybe that is a little bit more difficult. Okay, now next part. You are going to read an article about a boxer. This one. 6 sentences have been removed from the article. Choose from sentences A to G, yeah, the one which fits each gap. It is a little bit more complicated for students when it has extra options. Here there is one extra, which is okay, but sometimes they have 2 or 3 extra. So it can make things more complicated, right? Okay, so here you have the text, here you have the missing parts, and at the end you will find those missing parts. Look, yeah. So as you notice, there are not just words, but there are complete sentences, yeah. And you have to look for the best to complete each paragraph, okay? That is part 6. Okay. Questions about those things? Maybe you say, teacher, that exam looks very familiar. I mean, the methodology and the format. What do you think? Not really?
It's similar to the activity, the mural activities.
It
Similar.
is. Yes, Sylvia, it is. That's why we are incorporating and using mural this cycle. That was our decision because we check out the activities and they perfectly fit what you guys are going to do in the test and what we are doing in the classes. So, it is. Yes. Okay. Now we have part 7. You are going to read a magazine article about students who travel around Australia alone during their long summer vacation. Choose from A to D, yes, but let me see. It's basically to tell them, yeah. This is the kind of exercise in which you guys have to match. Yes, you match, for example, here we have 10 people looking for, I don't know, some studies abroad. And here we have 6 or 7 institutes or colleges or, institutions that offer courses. What do you have to do? Analyze each profile and match them with the best option. This is basically this exercise, and it can be for different things, not just for studies. For example, what about hobbies? Okay, we have some academies here that offer different kinds of I don't know, courses or hobbies options, yeah, or lessons that you can enjoy. And here we have the people who are looking for them, so you match them with the best option. Or you're looking for the best book, for example. What do you want to read? Yeah, you have to check out the profile and then you match them. This is the kind of exercise in which you have to do that. Okay, so yes, here we have an example. Which student mentions a daily activity that was not enjoyable alone? So you have to read all of them and match them with these questions. That is part 7. My goodness. Okay, here. That's the end. Yeah, that was the end of reading. Writing asks you about write 2 things. Of course, we are going to practice writing with you. We are going to train you, especially on writing essays. That is also very common for these teens. But basically, we have to give reviews. Yeah. For example, you give reviews about a movie or about a book or about, I don't know, any kind of service. We have practiced that in class as well. Writing emails, that's also another common thing that they ask you in those kind of tests. You have to identify if it's an informal one or a formal one, what is the language and vocabulary you use for each one, right? Okay, so here we have part 1 and part 2. Part 1, Part 1 is compulsory. You have to write an essay, you see, in a formal style, giving your opinion on the essay title, using the ideas given, and providing an idea of your own. This cycle, of course, before the test, we are going to have 2 sessions for this. In the first part, we are going to talk about essay, tips, and introduction and everything. And on the second one, you guys are going to write your own essay. So we already have it in our planner, yeah, which is writing essays, because that's the first part about. You should write between 140 and 190 words. So we recommend you to train this, like this instruction. Sometimes students think that just because they write a lot, it's going to be better graded. Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, I wrote more than that, so which is wonderful. And it's not. Why not? For example, here with me, if it happens to me, that's okay, because I'm flexible. I know that you wanted to write a lot of ideas, and that's fine. But if you are taking an international test or a very formal one, they are so strict with the rules. And what they're going to do is that after those 190 words, they won't read you and they won't pay attention to that. So it will be very negative for you, because maybe at the end, you are concluding the topic, or you are giving your opinion, or I don't know, you are doing an important thing that will be omitted. Yeah, it's even harder for students to be concise and to use just those words requested, yeah, to include all the information that they are required to write. That's what I tell my students when they tell me things like that, like, teacher, can I write more than that? And I say, like, okay, for me that's fine, but be aware of the real system of exams grading. They will just forget about it, like omit that part. They won't read it. That's it, because that's the rule. So that's why we need to train to be concise, to include all the information they ask us to include, and to follow instructions. Okay, that was just a recommendation. Part 2. In part 2, you must choose one question from a choice of 3. Tasks may include some of the following. It could be an article, an email, a letter, a report, or a review, which is what I told you. We have practiced how to write emails, we have practiced how to write articles, we have practiced how to write reviews. Maybe we need to check out reports and, well, actually reports as well. Yeah, but we will have this practice in our classes, of course. Yes. So you have that, yeah, and you should write between 100, the same, like 140 and 190 words. Task types, for example, write a letter or an email, write an article, write a report, write a review. Yes. So of course we need to practice that. Questions about the writing part? No questions? Okay. That's the writing, only 2 parts. And of course, we are going to practice to give you some tips about it. Okay, now the listening. Okay, let's have a look about the writing example very, very quickly. In your English class, you have been talking about different ways to protect the environment. Now your English teacher has asked you to write an essay. Write an essay using all the notes and give reasons for your point of view. What can young people do to help protect and improve their local environment? Write about recycling things, cycling or walking instead of using cars, and you can also refer to your own idea. I mean, the idea you propose for protecting the environment. Okay? Part 2, write an answer to one of the questions. You can select. Write your answer in, well, the words we said, and you have, let me check out, okay, here. So you have here all the options and you select one. You have received an email from your English-speaking friend Jack, who is coming to visit your country with some friends. Write an email to Jack answering his questions. What are the best places to explore and things to see in your area? Should we use public transport or hire bikes? Are there interesting museums or exhibitions to learn about your country? Join us if you can. Please write soon. So what kind of email are you writing here, guys? Come on, boys and girls. Don't get sleepy. What kind of email are you required to write here?
Teacher, an informal.
Thank you, Natalia. An informal email. This is your friend. The questions require very informal information because they are just recommendations and your opinion, right? Maybe in other case, they will give you more, like, for example, remember the time we practiced how to write a complaint email? That requires formal vocabulary because if you are complaining, it needs to sound serious. Yeah. Okay. This one is for magazines. Yeah, like write reviews. So when you write reviews, remember you guys need to talk about, like, give the introduction, also mention good and bad things because you don't want to be very how can I say, like, strong in the way you judge. It is okay to also include both sides, like, okay, you don't like it, so you mention all the things or reasons why you don't, but you also use, like, maybe one or two things that you can just say from that, like, well, even if it has very good a very good cast, yeah, actors and actresses, blah blah blah, yeah, so it's better because you give contrast. That about writing reviews and books. And the last one, articles. Articles usually gives real information. It also mentions people who can support, those ideas. Yeah, so you require information. You have decided to write an article about your favorite computer game for a magazine for young people called Funtime. Write the article describing the game and explaining why you would recommend it to other readers. So you have to give very good information here. And that's it. Questions about the writing? Okay. Now focus on the listening. That is the one for today. Okay, listening part 1. Here you will hear people talking in 8 different situations, and you have to choose the best answer. So this one also gives you the answers. Each question has a different situation. Okay? For example, you hear 2 friends talking about attending a motor racing event, and they give you any situation to analyze. They agree that the best thing about it was. So you have the options here. My recommendation is always, first, read the questions you guys are going to answer. If you understand the instruction, you already have half of the exercise done. If you don't understand, then when you play the recording, you are wasting time, you are getting distracted, and you are getting stressed because it's so hard to do all the things at the time, like trying to read the question, like what is the information I need to look for? Yeah, so you read the questions first, and that way you are looking for specific information. Okay. Okay, let me see. But this one is about a different thing.
Or if
Yes, Elkin, come
you
on.
don't know the correct answer, you can mark the answer C.
My goodness, no, Elkin. Well, yeah, I mean, like, sometimes we need to do it maybe because we just, like, got very, very lost, and that's, oh, okay. Yeah, but there are some tips that we can follow, and those are the ones that we are going to check out in some minutes.
When I
Thank you.
did the effects and in the prefix, and they gave some tips about if you don't know about what is the correct answer, please mark the C answer. You have a great possibility to achieve that, and this answer is the correct or will be the correct.
Oh my God. Well, maybe because in Spanish it rhymes. Mono se la te. Yeah, it's like, okay, not in English. Okay, guys, so this one is the first one. Now we have the second one, which has a different methodology. So you will hear a singer called Tim Tanner who sings with his twin brother Sam Tanner. They are talking about their lives and career, and you have to complete the sentences with a word or short phrase. Let's check out the characteristic of the exercise. If you notice, there are no any answers there to use. So everything that you are going to write here comes from your mind. Or let me see. Yes, not from your mind, sorry, from what you listen to, excuse me. Yes, so, okay, the name of the talent competition which the twins won is, and of course, it is not going to be like this. The recording is not like this, like they're not going to say the name of the talent competition which the twins won is blah, 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 no, but more like telling the story or just talking about that or giving the information, and you are just, okay, like getting that information because you know exactly what you need to look for, yeah? So you guys complete that with a word or short phrase. In this one, you are not limited to use only one word, no. Okay, part 3 is for matching. You will hear 5 short extras in which people are talking about classical music. You have to choose from the list of A to H, so you have 8 here, and you have 5 here. So there are 3 extra, right? Okay, okay, you have to choose the reason each person gives for starting to play classical music. And you have to use the letters only once, so it means you can't repeat. There are 3 extra letters which you don't need to use because here we have 8 and here we have 5. Okay, so as I told you, you first read all of this. That is the only information you have. And while you are listening to these people, you can take some notes related to these things. Following a family tradition, being introduced to a range of good music. If you do not know these ones, it's so hard for you, yeah, to match them. So that's my recommendation. First, read the question, yeah, and try to infer what are those words that they can use to refer, for example, to family traditions or good music or concerts, etc. And then you do the matching because there are 3 that you don't need to use. Okay, next part 4, is for you to do reading comprehension as well. You will hear an interview with a professional athlete, and you have to choose the best answer for each question. All of this information is about the same thing. It's about only one thing, yeah? But of course, the comprehension is a little bit more complex. You may say, okay, teacher, so this one is easier than the first one because the first part has different situations, like 8 different situations. And I say, no, it's not like that because in the first one, situations are short. Yeah, it's like one thing and very specific. In this one, as it is the same information from the whole audio or recording, yeah, it can be a little bit more complex because of the kind of questions you need to pay attention to, yeah? Okay, for example, what does Anne say about her performance in the World Championships? So you have to read and select the best option. All of these questions are related to the same information. Okay, this is a multiple choice one. Okay, that's good. Only 3 parts. No, wait. Yeah, only 3 parts, which is perfect. Because listening is usually something that students fear, right? Like, oh, hard. But I see it very okay, like not easy, but okay, not so hard. And the fact that it's not too long makes you feel more confident. Yeah, because sometimes when we struggle facing, the exam moment, we can get very overwhelmed when it's too long. Questions, my dear friends? Well, I have presented you the whole test format. Later we can talk about the speaking. Yes, Carlos, what's the question?
Yes, teacher. This is an example of exam or example of types of questions.
Both, Carlos. Both. It is an example of a test like that. And of course, it is also.
It's too long because there are many types of exercise.
It is, Carlos. That's why you are having.
For how much time is for this exam?
We have 2009 minutes, but of course, you guys are having 2 moments for taking it. Don't worry. Yeah, you are not going to do all of this in one section. No. No. You are having reading and writing one day. No, sorry. Reading and use of language one day. The other day you can have listening and writing. Or yeah, that's like the way we are going to divide it. Or well, the coordinators did. Yeah. And of course, the speaking for another moment, because we are not mixing the speaking with any part. Of course not. It's like the same way we have been doing it. Okay?
Okay, teacher.
Thank you for the question, but please do not feel overwhelmed without having the exam now, because of course we know that that is long, but that's why we are just showing you to get familiar with the format. And please feel okay, because you guys are not going to do all of this in one section. That's so overwhelming and that's so long. So it's okay. Don't worry. You will have different moments. Basically, we are going to be doing evaluation classes 8, 9, and 10. The last 3 classes of the cycle will be for that, because we have 2 moments for the project as well, and 2 moments for the exam. So the last 3 days will be for that. What else? What other questions? Okay. Questions? Well, I have this for you to try to see if you guys understood how the exam works. Of course, we did not work on any exercise. Yeah, we haven't yet, but this is an overview for you to check out if you understood the format. Yeah, so please answer those questions. There are only 6 questions. Let's work on them, and later we can introduce the listening tips, and then you are ready for working on one listening activity from Moodle. So here, or do you want me to do it with you? Is it okay? Or do you want to do it on your own? Maybe you can try on your own. It's because when I do it with you, I mean, I don't stop talking, and it's like, oh my God, no. It's so boring for my students to just listen to me. So click on start. And answer the questions. What means FCE? You have 4 options here, and you have to select one. Yeah, so the questions are related to what I just told you. What is this exam? How many parts does it have for listening? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, work on it, please. Let's go. You guys have the link in the chat. I'm sending you two links of some like explanation of the test. You can check out when you have time. And you can also practice with them. Yeah, those links are very explicit when they show you the parts of the test. They also tell you like an idea about how much time you need to spend on each one. Yeah, which is very good. Okay, guys, we need to continue because I really want you to have like at least 15 or 20 minutes for working on the mural exercise. So, are you ready? Did you answer all of them correct or no? Tell me. Not really?
5, teacher.
Okay, Natalia. In which one did you fail? What happened?
And the last one in the number of writing.
Ah, okay. Oh, why? Because it was
I'm not sure. I think it was 3, and no, it's 2.
two. Yeah, only two. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
remember. Remember one for the essay, which is the one that we're going to practice in class, of course, and the other one could be a variety of different ones, an email, an article, a review. Yes, so only two, but the second one may be different. Yeah, okay, perfect. Oh, Jean-Claude and Madeline, which ones did you fail? Because you have 4 out of 6. Okay, and you want to tell me? Number of writing? Okay, the same as Natalia. Yeah, maybe you guys were confused because I mentioned them all. They are like, okay, the review, the article, blah, blah, blah. Yes, yeah.
How about the level achieved?
Yeah, the leadership. Yeah, because that's part of the administrative part that you guys don't really know, but that's okay. Yeah. Yes, I know that you have a common misunderstanding with the writing, maybe because I was not very clear, but let me just summarize with that. Two parts of writing. One that is the essay part. Of course, that's something for sure, the essay part. And the second one has a range of, variation that could be from different things, from an article or a magazine review or a book review, that, review is the same, or an email, yes. So basically two parts, one the essay and the other one can be different from the ones that I mentioned. Okay, guys, now let me give you some tips for working on listening, and then you are ready for working on mural. So please have your mural ready, and that way we save time. Okay. While you guys go to mural and I tell you what's the activity for today, you are giving me time for changing this, for showing you the video. Okay, mural. I need to open it because, as I told you last class, when Sylvia asked us about the activities, we already we already hit those words, or how can I say, activities in which you guys need to work. Just one listening sentence completion. Let me open it for us. Sentence one, listening, this one. We hide them from you so that way you guys don't find them and don't do them. Perfect, it's done. Okay. Let me show you very quickly what the activity you guys. Elkin, 2 out of 6. My goodness, why? What happened? Guys,
I make some mistakes choosing the correct one.
but because you did not understand, or what? How can I help you?
Mm, yes, I don't understand. And I failed the tier, the four and the five.
Oh, related to the parts of the exam, like the listening and those things, right?
Yes, the how many parts and
Mhm. It's
three
okay.
or two and yes.
Yeah, it's okay because when we are like working on individual ones, you guys will know again. Don't worry. Okay, my dear friends, just for you to know what is the activity that you are going to do after the video I'm going to show you is in the test one, listening, sentence completion. That is the one that you are going to work on today. Okay, this one. So have it ready. Okay, while you guys look for it, let me just do something. Give me a second.
Teacher, please, can you repeat?
Teacher, are you talking? Because I can't hear you.
The idea was to watch this video that gives us some tips for listening, yeah, for listening exercises. So I'm not sure if any of you can please share the video, or if you prefer, you can watch it on your own. And of course, we can work on the activity from Moodle, and I can also give you more time. It's okay, not just today, yeah? But this video has very interesting tips. Yes. Okay, let's do something. Can anyone please share that? Is it okay? Because I was trying, but you noticed that it was not possible. So, any of you? Not really? Okay.
The video?
Sorry.
No, teacher. The video, share the screen to play the video.
Yeah,
Because no, teacher, sorry, I can't. My internet is...
Thank you. Don't worry. It's okay. Okay, so let me tell you what we're going to do. Let's go to our room. You guys watch the video together and we discuss the tips. And I will give you that listening activity as homework, and I will give you 2 days for finishing. It means that I'm going to check it next Wednesday night. You will have Tuesday and Wednesday. Yeah? Because for me, it's very important that we check out first the tips for listening, and later you guys can work on Moodle. Yeah? Because if you don't have those strategies, it doesn't make sense. So now I'm changing it. Let me show you. The idea is to do this. Pay attention. The idea with the video was to discuss, of course, yeah, look, this. First of all, why do you think that listening comprehension is so difficult for some people? Why? Yes. Then, after this, we have this. Okay, sorry. Before watching the video, answer this question. After watching the video, mention some tips for improving listening comprehension skills. And after that, I have the summary of that. That is these tips that I can give you in order to give you some strategies, okay? So I'm going to give you some minutes for you to discuss that with your classmates. And you guys work on the Moodle activity later. You will have Tuesday and Wednesday for doing it on your own. And Wednesday night, I will download the score, okay? That will be better because I don't just want you to rush to work on the activity. No, it's okay. So let me give you the link of the video and you guys watch it and discuss that with your classmates. Then we are back and I give you those tips in a summary, okay? There you are. That's the link. Remember, you watch the video and talk to your friends about what are those tips and strategies, and then we are back together. How many are you today? Okay. So we can work on this. Okay, let's go, guys. Okay, guys, how was it? Could you talk about those tips for improving listening comprehension skills? Did you discuss that? Could you watch the video?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so let's summarize that one with this. Here we are. There are some tips and some things we can do in order to succeed when we are having those kind of exercises, right? I already show you the parts that we are going to take in the listening. It is not so hard. Yeah, actually, that's the perhaps the shortest part of the exam because you know that reading is very long. So let's check out those tips. Who can help me read the first one, please? Predicting content. Come on, let's do it. We're about to finish.
Me, teacher.
Okay, teacher. Go
Okay.
ahead, Mabel.
Okay.
What?
We have José, Silvia, and Natalia for reading that.
Okay,
Let's start with the first one.
okay. Predicting content. When we predict the topic of a tailored conversation, all the related vocabulary stored in our brains is activated to help us better understand what we're listening to.
Thank you, Jessit. Predicting the content of the listening is not just that we are going to make predictions like, oh, maybe this one is going to be about, I don't know. No. It is that we, as I told you, we first read the questions, and that way we have an idea about what we maybe will find there. Yes, and that way our brain activates those topics and this, in the storage, yes, of our brain, they will give us those resources, right? So, of course, the first tip is understand the instruction and read the questions. Okay? Second one, Natalia or Silvia, who is doing it?
Okay. Listening for this. When listening, it is possible to get the whole picture. In the sequence of information, there are content words, the nouns, adjectives, and verbs that can help you from that picture. Teacher, your microphone is off.
Oh, sorry, excuse me. Yes. So, listening for just helps you understand the general idea of that. Yes. And then when you understand the whole thing, you can just get specific, specific information. Silvia, help us read number 3, please.
Number 3, the signpost. These words, which link ideas, help us to understand what the speaker is talking about. Examples of these words are, first of all, movimiento and summary.
Yes. Identify the keywords, right? The clue words, the ones that maybe change the whole sense of the question. If you say, for example, always, yeah, it's a word that you need to pay attention to because in some cases you say, no, that's not always, it's sometimes. So it will change the whole idea. Okay, now we have listening for details. Who can read it, please?
Me.
Thank you, Brian.
Listening for details. When listening for details, you are interested in a specific kind of information, a number, name, or object. You can ignore anything that does not sound relevant.
Very good. Thank you, Brian. Of course, that is like a process. Yeah. Because if, as I told you, and I keep telling you this again, if you read the questions, you know what's the information you need. If you have the whole thing, you know, like the whole picture of the information, later it's going to be easier for you to spot that specific information you may need. Okay. And the last one, inferring meaning. Who can read that one, please, to finish today? Thank you, Carlos.
Yes, teacher. Inferring meaning. This is the techniques of inferring meaning, using clues and pure knowledge about situation to work out the meaning of what we hear.
Thank you, Carlos. This one may work in listening, but not in reading, because in some cases, when we infer, we are avoiding the real intention of the author. So this one is good for listening, yeah, because it helps us, yes. But in reading is different, because in reading sometimes we cannot assume, we cannot infer. It is what it is. Okay, my dear friends, this is the end. Sorry about the inconveniences with the voice and everything. Excuse me, please. Now that we have, like the listening tips and themes, you guys are going to work on that listening activity from Moodle. I'm just sending it to you in the WhatsApp group, so you guys have that very clear. Actually, I am including a picture for you to have a better idea about it. As we did not work on it in class, as I had planned, you guys have 2 days, which is enough time for working on it, okay? 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday. So Wednesday, when we are in this meeting again, I will tell you, okay, guys, I'm downloading what you did on that exercise, okay? Is it clear, or have you got any question related to it?
No, teacher, yeah.
Okay.
Teacher.
Thank you so much. So
Clear,
please work
teacher.
on it as soon as you have a moment, okay?
Bye, teacher. Have a good
Bye,
night.
guys.
Okay,
Bye,
teacher,
teacher.
bye.
Take
See you
care.
tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, guys.